When the wealthy man came to the orphanage to choose a child, he was torn between me and Chung Yin. Before my eyes, bullet comments scrolled by. The supporting female character is about to act pitiful and cause trouble again just to get adopted. But even if she gets adopted, she'll still be abandoned later. A lifetime of being the universally disliked, unattainable woman who competes with other women. I silently lower my head because the supporting female character they were talking about was me. Suddenly, two figures loomed over me. A couple from northeast China, never mentioned in the plot, looked down at me with pleasant surprise. Oh my goodness, this girl is so pretty. Sweetheart, your uncle and aunt are having pork stew with vermicelli at home today. It's absolutely delicious. Would you like to come with us and have some? A second-hand Volkswagen, a brand new Maybach. It came to a stop right in front of me and Chung Yin. The wealthy couple, selecting a driver, seemed somewhat hesitant. Chung Yin and I were the most suitable candidates, but each has their own flaws. One isn't beautiful enough. The other isn't kind enough. After much hesitation, they eventually walked toward me. The barrage of comments scrolled again. This couple must be blind, choosing to adopt that stupid and bad child instead of our precious Union, just because he's a bit more handsome. It doesn't matter anyway. He'll be returned after being adopted. It's all just to set the stage for Union's purity and kindness later. Don't worry. The next second, a couple with northeastern accents suddenly appeared before me. Their eyes were filled with delight. Oh my goodness, this girl is so pretty. She looks like she's destined to be with us. Daughter, are you going with Uncle and Auntie? Uncle and Annie's house is stewing pork and vermicelli today. So fragrant. I looked at those comments and blinked before that wealthy couple came over, turned around, came crashing into the arms of the northeast auntie in a cotton linen dress. I could see these bullet comments even when I was very young. The distribution of supplies in the orphanage was uneven, and most of the time we had to fight for them. I've been competing with Chen Yuan since we were little. Every time I got a new notebook or clothes, these comments would pop up cursing me. They said, "You can tell a person's future at 7, and if you're already so ruthless at this age, no wonder you'll be disliked by everyone when you grow up." Back then, I didn't really understand. What's wrong with wanting to live a better life? Only as I grew older did I realize that I was merely a control group for Qin Yuan. My selfish greed is destined to set off her strength and resilience. And as the malicious female side character, I would only become psychologically twisted after repeatedly failing in competition, turning into an utterly evil person. But this time, I really don't want to be the one being compared anymore. I got into that Volkswagen. Chun Yuan Kai visibly relaxed. The bullet comments were even more gleeful. Haha, so stupid. Actually giving up her lady's experience, a bowl of pork stewed with vermicelli. This life is just like this. From now on, she and us commoners will be people of two different classes. Her character is that of an annoying side character, no matter who adopts her. Her final outcome will be abandonment. I'm just waiting to see her downfall. Will she be abandoned? I cautiously raised my head and looked at the uncle driving in front. He caught my gaze through the rearview mirror, immediately showing a toothy smile. She said, "This girl is still shy. Just look openly. We'll be family from now on. My name is Sheng Yi, and this auntie is called Wang Shu. One of us is a police officer, the other a teacher. Both are proper professions, so you can rest assured. When you go home with your uncle and aunt, don't feel any burden. Just treat it like your own home." Aunt Wang Shu also laughed heartily. "Your uncle is right. Don't hold back. By the way, when we went to handle the procedures earlier, we saw that your name was just written as Xiaowu in the column. What's your full name?" "Dear." I lower my head, my fingers almost picking the skin raw. The barrage says, no matter what, I'm destined to be abandoned again. So, names and such don't really matter anymore. I don't have a proper name. Just Little 5. The stewed vermicelli my uncle makes is really delicious. I could smell it as soon as I entered the room. I sat stiffly at the table, remembered the headmaster's instructions before I left. When you go to someone else's home, be more polite and don't eat too much. I was so hungry, but I only dared to eat small bites. Uncle and Aunt kept piling food into my bowl. The rice bowls, bigger than my face, were piled up like little mountains. This is delicious. These little mushrooms were sent from Teeling. Super fresh. Oh, you should eat more meat. Our daughter is so thin. This vermicelli, let me tell you, it's really delicious. Our specialty from Northeast China. How is it? Daughter, why aren't you eating? Can't you get used to it? Old Jiang, I told you to make some local dishes, but you insisted on making a whole table of Northeast Chinese food. Our daughter can't handle it. What should we do now? Blame me. Blame me. Well, what do you like to eat? Uncle will go make it for you. The standard meal at the orphanage is 8 yuan per person per day. The minced meat with oil specks and the stir-fried green beans is the best thing I remember from my childhood. Would be so happy every time I got to eat a little more. Can be original. Come on. Besides the best, there can also be the favorite. I didn't want them to misunderstand, so I immediately held the bowl and buried my face in it, eating quickly. I'm used to it. Very used to it. Northeast cuisine is very fragrant. I want to stay in this home a little longer. I'm surprised that I could have such a greedy thought. They are very good people. After dinner, they took me to the mall for a long walk. All the daily necessities and the clothes on my body have been replaced with the latest ones. By the time I returned home, it was already late at night. I changed into my new pajamas and curled up in the corner of the bed. In the orphanage, it was common for several people to share one bed. You sleep too wide, and others have to feel cramped. Curling up became my sleeping habit after falling into a daze. It felt as if someone had entered my room and quietly crouched beside my bed. Old Jiang, do you think those bullet comments we saw today were just hallucinations? One person seeing it might be a hallucination, but 2 people shouldn't be. But what they said was too harsh. How bad can a child really be? As long as we treat her well, this child won't go down the wrong path. But seriously, I truly cherish this girl. Once she comes to our home, she's our own daughter, and no one will ever be allowed to bully her. I was half asleep, barely able to open my eyes, but I could sense their gentle movements as they placed me in the middle of the bed. It was so soft and spacious here. No one will deliberately crowd me, and I won't wake up with a sore back and stiff waist after a night's sleep. This was the most peaceful sleep I've had. They say loving someone is like tending a flower. Uncle and Auntie love someone like raising pigs. Northeast Chinese cuisine comes in large portions, and every dish pairs well with rice. At first, I restrained myself to eating only half a bowl of rice. Now I can finish 2 large bowls in one meal. The dean said that if you eat too much at someone else's home, they might feel unhappy. Bullet comments often appear saying, "What's so delicious about this? Every time you eat like you've never seen the world before. Are you a reincarnated pig?" Luckily, our union went back with that wealthy couple. Now she's dining at Michelin-starred restaurants every meal, living the dream life of a young lady I've always imagined. Well, maybe he was starved too much in the orphanage, eating in a retaliatory way, like a starving ghost. I think this couple will soon get tired of him. Every time the bullet comments compared me to Qingyun before, I would feel jealous. I was jealous that she could get better things than me, jealous that she could live a good life without any effort. I wanted to snatch away everything she had, but this time, my heart remained completely calm. Uncle Zhang's cooking smells so good every time. He sees me finish all the food. He smiles especially happily. It's completely the opposite of what the comments say, claiming they'd be annoyed by me eating too much. Aunt Wang Shu is also very kind. She hasn't cooked herself before, but she's willing to try cooking for me. That time she fried a plate of red sausage. As a result, we both drank an entire bucket of water to quench the saltiness. Uncle Zhang, returning from duty, hurriedly prepared 3 dishes and a soup. He ordered Aunt Wang Shu never to cook on her own again without thinking. Auntie gave a mischievous smile, promising not to touch the kitchen again. Later, when Uncle Zhang was too busy to come home and cook, Aunt Wang would take me out to eat at restaurants. Before, I didn't know that food could be divided into so many different cuisines, so many varieties. I could almost feel full just by looking at them. Every time Aunt Wang Shu would order a huge table full of dishes, even though it was clear that the two of us couldn't finish so much, she insisted on ordering. She said, "Whatever other kids have eaten, our child should also get to try." I kept my head down and focused on eating, but can taste my own tears. It turns out that love is every meal we share together. By the time I was about to go to school, my uncle and aunt solemnly asked me what kind of name I wanted. They say a person's name forms a bond with their life. For such an important matter, they want me to decide for myself. Even the surname is up to me, as long as it's not something like Huang Futianyu. Your uncles and aunts will support you. Uncle Zhang joked with a grin. What? Huang Futianyu? Old Zhang, you're always so frivolous. Our daughter has excellent taste. Uncle Zhang always likes to make jokes in front of Aunt Wang. Aunt Wang, provoked by his antics, laughs heartily after a few playful punches. Such a harmonious atmosphere. Even someone like me couldn't help but smile along. I looked at the two people in front of me who had no blood relation to me, but were willing to pull me out of the abyss. I said softly, "I've made up my mind. I want to be called Zhang Hao. Everything is just perfect." Uncle and aunt were stunned for a moment. Realizing it, they immediately became overjoyed. "Great. Zhang Hao is especially good. Uncle and auntie will go through the procedures for you tomorrow." After starting middle school, I occasionally learned about Changyan's recent situation from the bullet comments. The wealthy couple who adopted her happened to have the surname Qin. So, I just changed Changyan to Qinyan. Changyan is now truly a lady, busy learning foreign languages and various musical instruments every day. The Chen family has deliberately raised her to become a refined young lady. Bullet comments repeatedly compare my life with hers now. They say my adoptive parents are desperately poor, with no money to send me to extracurricular classes, and that I can only be a low-level person in the future. But I think they were wrong. My uncles and aunts didn't enroll me in any classes, yet they taught me a lot. Uncle Zhang taught me to be honest and trustworthy, and also showed me some basic self-defense techniques. Aunt Wang Shu took charge of my studies, teaching me that learning should be practical and that I should always hold on to my ideals and beliefs. Gradually, I seemed to be able to start resisting those subconscious bad behaviors because I knew I didn't need to fight for anything anymore. By the time I was in second year of junior high, the class needed to collect class fees. All the class funds were kept in the drawer of my class monitor's desk mate. The amount was considerable. A thick stack of bills. For middle school students, this was quite a large sum. I couldn't resist taking another look and reminded him again, "You really have a big heart. Aren't you afraid someone will steal the money you left here?" The class monitor didn't take it seriously and turned to play basketball with his friends. At that moment, the bullet comments appeared again. If I remember correctly, in the story, she was sent back to the orphanage because she stole the Chen family's mother's gem necklace. A thief is a thief. Is she trying to steal money? If there's no necklace to steal, she'll steal class funds. A dog can't change its habit of eating. I think the barrage comments are ridiculous because I never thought of it that way. But the next second, my hand, however, moved uncontrollably, sneaking toward my desk mate's drawer. The class fund was stolen. When my desk mate returned from playing basketball, he flipped open the drawer and shouted in surprise. All eyes suddenly turned toward him. I happened to finish asking the question and returned to the classroom. He immediately pointed at me. "Sheng Hao, only you know where the class fund is kept. Did you take it? Give it back to me." I frowned. "What's wrong with you? I didn't do it. It's you. It must be you. Before I put the money away, you even said it could easily be stolen. I think you're the one who wanted to steal it." He was furious and immediately started rummaging through my desk. He turned my backpack and desk into a complete mess, with things scattered all over the floor. No matter how I searched, I couldn't find the class fund inside. He was so angry. He cried, his emotions growing even more intense. "I'm begging you, please give the class fund back to me, quickly. If it's lost, I'll have to pay for it myself." And my mom will definitely scold me to death if she finds out I rolled my eyes. What does that have to do with me? It's not like I took it. You didn't keep it safe yourself. So, who can you blame? Hearing this, he wiped away his tears and rushed up to me, unwilling to give up as he tried to search through my clothes. It must be you. It was definitely you who took it. Startled, I instinctively dodged. He then thought I was guilty and started wrestling and tearing at me. I'm about the same height as him. Plus, there are the defensive skills Uncle Zheng taught me. In a fight, he wouldn't stand a chance by the time the homeroom teacher arrived. Both of us were in a sorry state, but he was clearly worse off, with blood streaming from his nose. He cried and sniffled, playing the victim first, accusing me of not only stealing money, but also hitting someone. The homeroom teacher listened quietly, glanced at me, and said, "Zheng Hao, either hand over the money or call your parents." When Uncle Zheng hurriedly arrived at the school, the barrage is overjoyed. The true colors are showing. No matter how good Zheng Yi is, he can't possibly tolerate his child being a thief. Let's welcome Xiao Wu back to the orphanage. I lowered my head deeply, sitting in the innermost corner of the office. When I caught a glimpse of that tall, sharp figure out of the corner of my eye, I guiltily and awkwardly hid the injury in my hand. You must be Zheng Hao's father, right? How did you raise your child? A girl actually beat our son up like this. Does she even have any sense of how a girl should behave? She's not only dishonest, but also malicious. She has absolutely no upbringing. The class monitor's parents' voice was shrill. From the very first second Uncle Zheng appeared, he started pointing at his nose and cursing. Uncle Zheng rarely didn't respond. His expression was serious, and he walked towards me with firm steps. I caused such a big trouble, and even got him scolded so harshly. He must really hate me now, right? Thinking this, I swallowed again and looked up defiantly. I wasn't wrong. I had rehearsed at 10,000 times before he arrived, even if I were truly abandoned, just as the barrage comment said. Then I won't be a lost dog either. I'll act completely indifferent. I'll be a cold and heartless bad girl. Gathering my courage, I lifted my head and met Uncle Zheng's gaze. He stared at me intently. In that single moment, all the pretense I had been holding on to shattered into pieces. A string inside me suddenly snapped, and tears poured down like rain. I'm sorry. I'll never fight again. I didn't steal the money. I know doing bad things will hurt you, so I didn't do it. Can you please not abandon me? She can't really believe that a foster father would have any real feelings for her. Can she? I just love watching these moments when the vicious villains get their comeuppance. About to lose everything again, looking at the barrage of comments before me. My nose tingled with emotion. I reached out, wanting to grab hold of his sleeve. Uncle Zheng suddenly turned around, shielding me firmly behind him. Zheng Hao is my child, and I believe she would never steal. His words were resounding. I was deeply shaken, looking at that back. I couldn't say a word for a long time. Instead, it's you, one, as a teacher, subjectively judges a child's character without investigating the situation, and the other, as a parent, fails to empathize and bullies someone else's child. I feel ashamed for you. Although Uncle Zheng wasn't wearing his police uniform, but the aura of righteous indignation around him remained as strong as ever. Instantly, the parents of the class monitor, who had been making a scene in the office, reluctantly fell silent. After a few glances back and forth, the teacher softened his attitude. Mr. Zheng Hao, we didn't mean it that way, either. It's just that when students have conflicts, we have to clarify the situation, right? Uncle Zheng sat down beside me. All right, then, let's ask properly. You're the one who said my daughter stole money, right? Name, age, report them. The class monitor's voice trembled with nervousness. Zhang Jishue, 14 years old. Mr. Zhang, what evidence do you have that Zhang Hao stole the money? I don't have any, but Zhang Hao knew where I kept my money. She even said that if I kept it in that place, I'd get robbed. Not long after she said that, my money was actually stolen. If not her, then who else could it be? So, the place where you kept your money was inherently unsafe. My daughter fulfilled her duty by warning you. Yet, You turn around and blame her. No, I didn't. Zhang Jishui didn't know how to respond, so he kept saying no. Uncle Zhang continued pressing. I already learned the general situation over the phone. My daughter said she was in the teacher's office asking questions when your money was stolen. So, she had no chance to commit the crime. How could my daughter steal your money? As class monitor, you have the responsibility to safeguard the class funds. Since the theft was caused by your negligence, you should either take responsibility yourself or find out the truth and recover the money. Instead, you chose to blame an innocent classmate. You sure know how to take the easy way out. Zhang Jishui's thoughts were exposed, and he immediately became anxious. He blurted out without thinking, but she's the only orphan in our class, and they say orphans have impure thoughts, which is why their biological parents abandon them. If it's not her, then who is it? As soon as these words were spoken, Zhang Jishui's parents immediately looked at me in surprise. The look in his eyes only said 3 words. No wonder. Uncle Zhang glared back without any courtesy. Then he retorted, my child has parents, a healthy body, and a sound mind. She is no less than any other child in this world. Zhang, please sincerely apologize to my child for your words and actions. Uncle Zhang stood up. He was tall, maintaining regular exercise with a muscular build. Standing at 189 m, he towered over the junior high school boy who was still not fully developed. Like a giant, he lowered his head, his gaze sharp and stern. Zhang Jishui was immediately frightened to tears. Seeing this, the parents nearby quickly stepped forward and hugged him. They had intended to get angry, but upon glancing up and seeing Uncle Zhang's expression, they only muttered quietly, our child isn't wrong, either. If we had known his desk mate was an orphan, we would have come to the school earlier to ask the teacher to change our child's seat. Children from incomplete families always have a bit of a twisted mentality. I clenched my fists, staring at those 2 faces that looked so much like Zhang Jishui. I wished I could just rush forward and tear their mouths apart, just as my patience reached its limit. Uncle Zhang spoke up first. No wonder the kid is so pathetic. Turns out the parents are even worse. Is this how you educate your child? Then didn't you waste your tuition money? You might as well send him to a pet school to learn how to sit and shake hands. Why bother teaching him human things? Such a waste of effort. The moment that distinct northeastern accent came out, I was stunned. Uncle Zhang always appears serious and earnest in front of outsiders. He never swears when he can reason things out. This was the first time I had ever seen him curse so openly. Zhang Jishui's parents were so angry that their breathing became rapid. People are always like this, bullying the weak and fearing the strong. When I'm alone, even if I say nothing, I still get a scolding. Now, standing before a man who utterly dominates them in strength, even though Uncle Zhang's words were already quite provocative, they dared not say anything more. For a long time, the other side finally managed to squeeze out a few sentences. Even if we take a step back, what right does a student's parent have to demand that someone else's child apologize to their own? Your child beat our schwa like this, and we haven't even held you accountable yet. When it comes to this point, I still feel a bit guilty. After all, I really did hit him. I stood there honestly, waiting for criticism, but I didn't expect it. Uncle Zhang just pulled Zhang Jishui over and examined him from head to toe. He immediately smiled contentedly. Good job, girl. You've got all the key points right. Then he boasted to the others. She's really talented, isn't she? I taught her. I'm planning to have her practice Sonda in a couple of years. Make it even more impressive. Me. Zhang Jishui's family. Even the barrage comments fell into an eerie silence. Uncle Zhang led me out of the office just as the sun was setting. The sunset blazed like a sea of fire stretching across the sky. I tilted my head back, still unable to believe that I hadn't been criticized at all. Uncle Zhang, aren't you going to scold me? Uncle Zhang was stunned for a moment, then lowered his head and chuckled. What? Do you have to get a beating to be happy? You silly kid. Why would I criticize you? Protecting yourself isn't wrong. That Shorty at most got a few scratches. If you say the wrong thing, you deserve to get hit. Right. I really have to let your Aunt Wong praise me when we get back. See, when I wanted to teach you some martial arts, your aunt wasn't happy about it. Now you know how useful it is, don't you? He stroked his chin with great satisfaction. Then, suddenly remembering something, he stopped in his tracks and turned to look at me. Wait a minute. I actually just remembered something. Me. HM. Uncle Zhang crouched down, looking at me at eye level. His demeanor had completely changed from the carefree attitude he had just shown, and he asked seriously, "Daughter, why did you say something about whether you wanted me or not just now?" I lowered my head, feeling awkward and tugging at the sleeve of my shirt. Before I could speak, Uncle Zhang first gently hugged me and let out a sigh. "Is it because your uncle and aunt didn't give you enough sense of security?" I shuddered all over for some reason. Tears suddenly fell like a broken string of beads, unable to stop no matter what. The gentle voice spoke again in my ear. "A child who has always had enough to eat never worries about being hungry next time. The fact that you're asking this shows you're still afraid. Don't be afraid. It's okay. Edward and I have long considered you as our own child. No matter how big a mess you make, Uncle will back you up. Aunt will cover for you, and none of us in this family will ever abandon each other." My tears soaked his shoulder. Uncle Zhang noticed immediately and quickly raised his head to wipe away my tears. "Oh my God, why are you crying again? Did uncle or sister hurt you?" I stopped crying and laughed, hugging his neck tightly. In the past, every sleepless night, I couldn't help but check those comments. They were all betting on when this family would day after day passed. Season after season passed. The Northeast cuisine on the table still smells delicious. The love my uncle and aunt gave me has not diminished. I hugged him. 1,000 thoughts welled up in his heart. But when he spoke, it became just one sentence. "Dad, I want to eat braised pork with vermicelli tonight." He struggled to keep his composure. His trembling hands betrayed his heart despite his efforts. Only 2 soft okays were heard. Then I was taken by a pair of large hands, slowly walking home under the setting sun. I found that changing my mind was calmer than I had imagined. It's as if calling them Mom and Dad has long become a commonplace thing. No one knows that this is the result of my own secret rehearsals, practiced thousands of times. The inner turmoil of the 3 individuals at the dinner table. It becomes a gentle, flowing stream. My mom was so angry when she heard about what happened at school today that she almost broke her chopsticks. Dad immediately stepped in to calm her. "Down. You can't go slamming the table like that." Mom calmed down a little and said she'd go through the trouble of transferring me to the school where she teaches, no matter how difficult it might be. I shook my head and refused. It wasn't me who made the mistake, and if I ran away, it would only leave a shadow of doubt in everyone's mind. Dad praised me for having my own judgment, and Mom didn't say much more. They both tried their best to act calm throughout the meal, but when I went inside to do my homework, I could still hear the 2 of them laughing softly in the kitchen. Our daughter called for Dad first before calling for Mom. "So, I'm still a bit more capable than you. Keep bragging. If I were there, our daughter would definitely call for me first. Oh, look at you. So capable. She just likes me a little more. So, what? Keep talking nonsense, and I'll slap you." In the end, Zhang Ji Shuai apologized to me. Before leaving the office that day, Uncle Jiang said he would definitely compile a formal report on the matter and submit it to the Education Bureau. This teacher, who clearly took sides, must receive the punishment they deserve. And what about that stack of missing class funds? They were found among the pile of used tissues in Zhang Ji Shuai's desk drawer. Everyone in the class knew about this matter. Zhang Ji Shuai's tearful, snot-covered face spread throughout the entire grade. He no longer had the face to serve as class monitor. The position of class monitor was given to a quiet little girl in the class who wore thick glasses. On the day she took over as monitor, she quietly passed me a note. I looked at her, and she immediately turned away, her face turning red. I opened the note and read, "Let me teach you studies, and you teach me martial arts." Okay, thus, I made my first good friend in junior high school. We have a new class monitor. My studies rarely gave my parents any more cause for concern. By a stroke of luck, I performed exceptionally well in the high school entrance exam and was directly admitted to the best high school in the city. This school has high admission standards and an exceptionally impressive college acceptance rate. In this city, any parent with some means and aspirations will try every possible way to get their child enrolled here. So, on the first day of school, I ran into my old friend, Chin-Yun. No, she should be called Chin-Yun now. I heard her score was a few points short, and it was only after the Chun couple paid a large sum of money that she was admitted. Fate is a skilled writer. After going in circles, it has once again placed us in the same class. Chun-Yun was greatly surprised when she saw me. She bit her lip and came to my side, whispering, "Why are you here?" 2. Influenced by the strong northeastern atmosphere at home, my speech carried a regional accent. "Oh my, I thought this school was run by your family. Why can't others excel and get in on their own merit?" Chin-Yun was stunned, as if she couldn't quite believe what I said. But when the teacher first arranged seats based on the entrance exam results, with me in the front row and her sitting in the last row, all her doubts vanished. Chun-Yin was holding back a surge of determination. The first class was over, and they were already doing exercises. Don't know what they were practicing. I guess they were probably practicing writing names. The bullet comments saw this scene and felt quite relieved. Union morg so hard. She will definitely surpass Xiao Wu in the college entrance exam in the future. The tides turn in the future. Whether it's a boyfriend or future prospects, our Yunyan will be better off than her. Speaking of boyfriends, is the male lead about to appear soon? Humph, that scheming girl, Xiao Wu, is going to start competing with Yunyan for the male lead again. But whatever, no matter how much she competes, she's just a catalyst for the romance between the main characters. The only thing loved by everyone in this world is the Chinese yuan. Please take note. Viewers, I rolled my eyes and covered my head with the book, then started to sleep. The legendary entrance of the male protagonist was indeed as cool, awesome, and dazzling as expected. The teacher, while teaching, dared to chew bubblegum and kick the door open with one foot. He doesn't even wear his school uniform properly, draping it over his shoulders. His posture resembles anterior pelvic tilt. He wore a look of disdain. "Sorry, I'm late. Didn't interrupt your class. Did I, teacher?" In my dad's words, this is what happens when a young tree isn't pruned. It grows crooked. The bullet comments went wild. "Oh my god, I love the school," bully-type male lead. "So cool, so handsome." I took another look, but honestly couldn't see what was so handsome as for his figure and face. He's not even as good as our old Zhang, but the way he disrespected the teacher made me furious for no reason. The teacher didn't hold it against him. He then walked straight to the last row, heading directly toward Qin Yun's deskmate seat. The male lead, Qi Qingxiao, is a second-generation rich kid whose family is even wealthier than the Qin family. His grades were far from acceptable. He only got in by donating an entire laboratory building. Both of them got in through connections. They're quite a match. I withdrew my thoughts and never paid attention to their movements again. After class, I looked back at the barrage discussions and found out that they had passed 40 notes to each other during that lesson, not to mention anything else. These two write quite fast. I don't have time to get involved in this painful youth story. To secure a spot in your dream university, you need to start preparing for various competitions from the first year of high school. So, while Qin Yin and Qi Qingxiao were at odds with each other, I was preparing for competitions. While Qin Yin and Qi Qingxiao became a bickering couple, I was preparing for competitions. While Chen Yuan and Qi Qing Zhao's feelings grew and they tested each other, I was preparing for competitions. The two of them were arguing and sulking, while I continued preparing for the competition. When Qi Chengxiao, trying to provoke Qin Yuan, made a harsh remark saying he'd pursue every good-looking person in the grade, I suddenly couldn't focus on preparing for the competition anymore because that night I learned from the comments that I had also become Qi Qing Zhao's target. The next day, There was a note folded into the shape of a frog on my desk. I held the note and shouted in the classroom, "Oh my God, who's so mean to leave a toad on my desk?" Chi-Ching Xiao walked in through the front door with a dark expression and slapped his hand on my desk. "What toad? This is the love letter I wrote for you. You better open it and read it carefully. This is a crucial time for the high school sophomore competition. Winning a place in the competition is just one step away from guaranteed admission. Love letter. What is that thing? Is it as important as an acceptance letter?" Then I grabbed the compass nearby and fiercely stabbed its tip toward Chi-Ching Zhao's hand. "Didn't your parents teach you that slapping the table can get you a beating?" Chi-Ching Xiao was startled by me and immediately withdrew his hand. I gave him a glare, then turned and took his so-called love letter to the teacher's office to report it. "Teacher, someone is preventing me from studying properly. The Chi family is powerful and influential, so the teacher couldn't impose any substantial punishment. I could only verbally reprimand him a few times. My refusal only made Chi-Ching Xiao more determined. Today, he'd send love letters. Tomorrow, he'd bring breakfast. The day after, he simply barged into the broadcasting station, making me the laughingstock of the entire school. His behavior is becoming increasingly boundaryless, even directly affecting my normal life. Seeing Chi-Ching Zhao's pursuit becoming more and more intense, the barrage couldn't sit still. She even learned to play hard to get, knowing that the clingy approach doesn't work on Chi-Ching Xiao. So, she simply acts like she doesn't care, which makes Chi-Ching Xiao think she's special instead. Ah, 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 ah. My baby has been almost jealous to death these past few days. Old Chi, if you keep this up, you'll really end up chasing your wife to the funeral pyre later. Can you please stop playing around?" After spending so many years dealing with the bullet comments, I've long since learned to treat their words as so much hot air. Nothing you say can affect me. But Qin Yun herself couldn't hold back and took the initiative to approach me. She hesitated to speak, looking at me timidly. She asked, "Do you and Cheng Xiao really like each other?" I was impatient. "Who cares about that little thing? Can you stop pretending?" The natural emphasis in Northeastern dialect made Qin Yun think I was yelling at her. So, she became even more timid. "You don't have to hide it from me. If you two like each other, I can give Qing Xiao to you. Back then, I took away your adoption opportunity at the orphanage. It's normal for you to resent me and want to take revenge. If it weren't for me, the current Miss Qin of the Qin family should have been you. This time, I'll give it back to you." Qin Yun spoke with great solemnity. I thought she was about to jump off the building and perform a dramatic act. I was so scared that I immediately took several large steps back. "Don't try to trick me. I never said you owed me anything. I'm doing just fine, even if it happens countless more times. I will still rush into my mother's arms. This is the most correct decision I've ever made in my life." But Qin Yun doesn't seem to think so. "You really don't blame me. Then, why are you getting so close to Qing Xiao?" I was speechless, rubbing my forehead. "Sister, wake up. Am I the one getting close to him? Or is he clinging to me like a stubborn band-aid? Men like that can be knocked out with a single brick on the street. Why do you treat him like a treasure? If he truly cared about you and liked you, how could he use such a hurtful way to make you jealous and angry?" Qin Yin felt a bit indignant. She mustered her courage. "You don't understand. Qing Xiao is a very good person. He's just not mature yet and doesn't know how to properly love someone." It turns out Qin Yan's taste is absolutely terrible because, not 2 days later, Qing Xiao brought people to corner me. For 5 men surrounded me in the alley. Qing Xiao at the front laughed in a lewd manner. "Shanghao, I've been chasing you for days, yet you're so ungrateful you won't even give me a decent look. Do you really think you're some precious lady from a wealthy family?" I remained calm, glancing up to see the surveillance camera at the alley entrance. From that angle, you should be able to capture what's inside. So, I raised my voice. "Qing Xiao, what are you trying to do?" "What am I trying to do?" Qing Xiao laughed and joked with the brothers behind him. "Isn't it obvious?" I take a deep breath, doing my best to hold back the fist that's about to smash into Qi Qing Xiao's face. Now is not the right time. I heard you're going to participate in some competition, trying to secure a direct admission opportunity. Right. No need to go through all that trouble. Follow me, and I'll get you a guaranteed admission. As he spoke, he placed his hand on my shoulder. But if you keep being this uncooperative, don't blame me for ruining you. I raised an eyebrow. Guaranteed admission requires competing for spots through competitions. Can you really get it for me, directly? Qi Qing Xiao would admit it, even if just to show off in front of his friends. He readily agreed. Of course, you should know who my parents are. Idiot, just a little trick, and the truth came out. I sneered. How pitiful you are. Qi Qing Xiao, even with powerful connections at home. No one wants to be with you, probably because of how you look. Very much like the toad you gave me back then. The atmosphere suddenly turned tense. Qi Chengsha frowned and stared at me intently. His hand rested on my shoulder, quietly applying pressure, but my body was stiff as a board. He couldn't budge me at all. Realizing this, Qi Chengsha raised his hand, intending to slap me. Who the hell gave you the nerve to talk to me like that? I took the slap without flinching. My face swelled up quickly. Once a man starts hitting, it's hard to stop. Even though someone behind him tried to stop Qi Chengsha, he still swung his second palm toward me. I let out a cold laugh and swiftly grabbed his wrist. I'm nobody, just someone who happened to learn a bit of Sanda. Self-defense. How can that be considered hitting someone? With a twist of his wrist, Qi Chengsha immediately let out a scream, like a slaughtered pig. Dust rose in the alley. In less than 10 minutes, several men lay sprawled in various positions. Qi Chengsha was the worst off. Half of his face swollen, like a pig's head. Seemed like I accidentally used too much force. I scratched my head, pulled out my phone, and called the police. Hey there, are 4 or 5 people blocking me here, but I've already surrounded them. Could you please come over? The response was quick. The one who rushed over first was my dad. He hurriedly scanned me from head to toe, looking flustered. Her eyes turned fierce when she saw the slap mark on my face. Who did it? I pointed to Qi Chengsha, who was lying on the ground, groaning in pain. Him. And I also want to report that their family is suspected of interfering with exam fairness. This matter has caused a big stir, but the Qi family's parents are truly too busy. They only entrusted a lawyer to come to the school. The lawyer pushed his glasses up. Our people have already gone to get the injury assessment. As soon as the report comes out, I don't think there'll be any problem with charging you with excessive self-defense. Classmate, you've picked the wrong person to mess with. But after all, you and Chengsha were classmates, and we don't want to push things too far. As long as you're willing to publicly apologize in front of the entire school and sign a pledge promising that you will never again bring up the Qi family's interference in exam fairness, we can take a step back and let you off the hook. He seemed to have already won, certain that I would be intimidated. But I'm not the little Wu from before. I'm Jing Hao, who has someone backing me up. I didn't say a word until Mom and Dad appeared together at the door. What's the point of scaring a child? Come talk to us. The lawyer looked them up and down. Their parents' attire was utterly ordinary at first glance. He categorized them as belonging to the Qi family's lower class. Are you Jing Hao's adoptive parents? He emphasized the words adoptive parents with a heavy tone, his voice filled with disdain. But my parents remained unfazed and sat down right beside me. We are Jing Hao's parents. The lawyer laughed for no reason. Also said, what it is doesn't matter. I think as adults, we don't need to beat around the bush too much. So let's just speak directly. Your daughter's excessive self-defense harmed Mr. Qi, which is not only severe in nature, but also has a terrible impact. With just a little use of media resources, your daughter's reputation and future could suffer significant damage. I suggest we each take a step back and settle this. How about that? Mom sneered. You also know it was self-defense. Without harm. How could there be self-defense? Lawyer. But after all, your daughter wasn't injured, while Mr. Qi was genuinely hurt. Mother, my daughter wasn't injured because her father has been teaching her Sanda all along. What does that have to do with Qi Chengxia? If my daughter didn't have these skills, The consequences for her would have been unimaginable. Lawyer, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't cry when the injury examination report comes out. Mother, no need for you to worry. Her father is a police officer, and the first lesson in teaching Sonda is how to hurt someone without causing serious injury. Besides, whether it constitutes excessive self-defense is up to the judge to decide. As a lawyer, how dare you make such an inference before the trial even begins? Does the Bar Association know about this? Lawyer, no wonder you're a teacher. Your verbal skills are impressive. It seems you're determined to go against the Chi family. Mom, straighten up. We're not targeting any particular family. We're targeting anyone who bullies our daughter. The lawyer nodded, his eyes dark and fierce. Then don't regret it. A few days passed. Only then did we understand what he meant by media resources, and don't regret it. The internet started buzzing with stories about me and Chinyin. They said we grew up together in an orphanage, and I always loved things from Chinyin. Anything she liked. I had to take it. Back then it was toys, and the year we were adopted, it was parents. As we grew up, it turned into robbing boyfriends. The young master of the Chi family was originally deeply in love with Chinyin, but I suddenly butted in for no reason. Qing Xiao couldn't stand my relentless pursuit, so he found a place to talk to me alone. Unexpectedly, I flew into a rage and severely injured him. This story sounds so vivid and detailed. They even found Shang Jishui to prove that I was incorrigible and still stole money in middle school. For a moment, public opinion went crazy. People online called me a competitive woman, a born evil woman. The overwhelming abuse even found its way into our phone inboxes. The bullet comments saw the scene and said, Qi Qingxiao went a bit too far, this time it really wasn't Shen Hao's fault. She didn't even initiate any provocation, feeling a bit disappointed. Can money really twist right and wrong like this? I was troubled by this matter, but my parents seemed completely unaffected and the family atmosphere remained harmonious and calm. Yet that night, the lights in their room stayed on all night. When I woke up the next morning, Mom and Dad are not at home. There is only a note on the table. Food is in the pot. I stewed some goose for you. Remember to eat. I was puzzled, but then I saw a message from my junior high school class monitor. Sheng Hao, turn on the TV quickly. Turning on the TV, it automatically tuned to the local news channel. Mom and Dad were being interviewed live on it. Next to them, their personal introductions read, Sheng Yi, awarded 1 second-class merit and 2 third-class merits. Transferred to our city's public security after being honorably wounded. Wang Shu, an outstanding teacher, once named one of the top 10 figures of the year for bravely rescuing a drowning student. There is a reason why Mom and Dad have such a good relationship, but have no children. One of them suffers from various health issues due to too many injuries, while the other has lingering effects from jumping into a river in winter to save a drowning student. Before they became my mom and dad, they were already very, very good people. This sudden interview was also well prepared. They took out the surveillance video backed up on their phones. It clearly captured the scene of Qi Chengxiao blocking me. After turning the volume to the maximum, his threatening words could still be heard. And most importantly, don't make things so complicated. If you follow me, I'll get you admitted without an exam. But if you keep being so unreasonable, don't blame me for ruining you. I suddenly understood why my parents were going for the interview. If I keep backing down or agree to the Chi family's private settlement, then none of us can guarantee what they might do next, only by bringing everything out into the open. No matter what happens to me in the future, the Chi family will inevitably face public criticism. Mom and Dad sat upright, looking very serious. This is the people's country, and I don't believe any capitalist can ride roughshod over the people. The live stream was cut off halfway through, followed by an endless loop of advertisements. But that very afternoon, the topic of heroes bleeding and shedding tears has once again made it to the top search trends. Public opinion has undergone a dramatic shift. Those two sitting there look so upright, they seem almost suspicious. I don't really believe their daughter could have done anything wrong. This incident was already a bit questionable. Was it really necessary to bring 3 or 4 men into an alley just to have a calm chat with a young girl? Thank goodness the girl practiced Sonda. Otherwise, this bastard would have really succeeded if not dealt with seriously. The sky would have turned dark that day. Everyone has long suffered from the celestial dragons. Such people, who enjoy all the privileges and are extremely arrogant, should have been dealt with long ago. The schools Qi Qing Xiao attended from childhood to adulthood have all been exposed. It's practically a history of connections and privilege. For a time, public opinion boiled over with the sharpest criticism directed at the Qi family. Moreover, some experts dug up information showing that several relatives previously connected to the Qi family had been admitted to prestigious universities with extremely low scores. The implications are self-evident. The relevant authorities immediately intervened to investigate. Qi Qingxiao was also taken away for questioning. It was said that he still showed no remorse before being taken away. He doesn't regret anything he has done. He only regrets giving us the chance to discover everything he has done. The bullet comments say he is the first true prison-style male lead, peeling away the shell that his family background has given him. He was a dull, uncharismatic mediocrity. Without Qi Cheng Xiao causing trouble, I successfully participated in the competition. That noon after the competition, Chun Yun asked me to go to the cafeteria with her for lunch. We sat facing each other. It should have been the most emotionally complex relationship. Yet, at this moment, my heart remains calm and unruffled. I can even greet her with a light and casual tone. How have you been lately? Chun Yin lowered her head and didn't answer me. She looked at the 2 plates on the table and suddenly asked, "Do you remember back in the orphanage we used to sit facing each other like this?" 2. I nodded. I remember. As soon as the meal bell rang, we would snatch the meat from each other's bowls. I don't know when it started, but even when talking about these not-so-happy memories, I can actually laugh out loud. Probably because I know that all of this has truly passed and will never return. Now it's fine. Now both of our plates are full. No need to fight over it anymore. Chun Yun blinked and took a long time before replying. Xiao Wu, you've really changed a lot. I've changed from Xiao Wu to Zheng Hao, so of course there have been some changes. No, it's not just some changes. You've completely transformed. Chun Yin seemed to recall something and let out a bitter laugh. No wonder you chose that ordinary couple back then. You're very happy and very lucky. Why does that sound a bit sour? I found it a bit strange. She took a deep breath, and her gaze toward me carried a hint of resentment. Before leaving, he told me he never thought things would escalate this much. Now you've driven him away. You're happy. But where does my happiness go? I rolled my eyes. So he came here to collect a debt. If you insist on searching with a lantern, you'll never find it in a lifetime. You should stop and glance to both sides. Maybe you'll spot it. Chun Yun, your living conditions are already better than most people's. Don't spend all day feeling sorry for yourself with a man occupying your mind and leaving no room for anything else. Don't you think that makes life terribly dull? She let out a laugh. You make it sound so easy, so carefree. What else am I supposed to do? Spend my whole life competing with you for a toad? I don't have time for that. I lowered my head and quickly shoveled a few mouthfuls of rice, cleaning everything off my plate. As I wiped my mouth and prepared to head back to the classroom, I noticed that Chun Yan's meal remained untouched. I tapped the table to remind her. It's only been less than 10 years since we've been able to eat our fill. Don't waste food. Cherish the present. I stood up to leave. Chen Yen suddenly called out to me. She asked if we could start over. I want to switch adoption families with you. I poked my cheek, turned my head with a grumble, and gave her a thumbs-down gesture. Old hag won't agree. I was successfully recommended to Beijing Huaxia University. After that, I rarely returned to school. I heard from other classmates that Chun Yin transferred away not long after. The investigation above led to the removal of a series of connected favoritism cases. No one knows where Chen Yin actually transferred to, as Chen Yin completely disappeared from my life. Those bullet comments also vanished. This probably signifies that I have officially faded out from the world of these male and female protagonists. From now on, I am just myself, not anyone's supporting character. The day the university officially started, my parents took me to the school gate. Both of them were smiling from ear to ear. We found a kind alumnus to take a group photo for us. The three of us stood at the school gate. The large school plaque gleamed brightly. Honey, what should we call it? Say cheese. Oh, eggplant is too outdated. Let's change it. Change to what? What does the daughter want to change? Quickly, quickly, quickly. What does the top student want? I let out a mischievous chuckle. Then let's shout. I love my home. All right, my daughter is still the cultured one. Come on. 3, 2, 1. I love my home. My parents, they're good at raising anything. The flowers and plants they grow are all vibrant and beautiful. The little fish they keep are lively and energetic, and even the sparrows that land on our window still have become unusually plump. I was also raised by them, even if I was once a decaying, withered tree. Now, spring has arrived, and I am full of life. Everything is just right. I truly love my home. After hearing this story, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. We look forward to hearing from you.